Hey gang, it's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com here with Tales of Tamriel host Aggelos, and we wanted to kind of go over Cyrodiil PvP and Elder Scrolls Online, give our impressions on some latest news. This forum post that I have pulled up that Ag's going to read in a second kind of talks about the changes they made recently to try to improve the performance with all the lag and issues that Cyrodiil was having. Ag, can you read this for us?
Absolutely. This post was posted today by Assistant Community Manager Gina Bruno. Hey everyone, we are aware that there are performance issues in Cyrodiil with particular campaigns at certain hours. During our investigations into the problem, we have discovered a decrease in performance if the population of a campaign passes a certain threshold. In order to address this, we're going to decrease the campaign population cap below that threshold. This is unlikely to have any negative effects for the majority of the PvP players, although you may encounter a queue if you log in during primetime hours, particularly in the North American and European Thornblade campaigns. While we believe this change will improve the overall performance in Cyrodiil, we will still continue to work on other optimizations. And they go on to say this change will happen in the next hour, and they went ahead and applied that change today.
Okay, so I went in and checked that out, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But realistically, how I see this affecting PvP, if you've been following the show or look at my stuff, I do not like PvP at the moment. The removal of forward camps, I think, was a bad idea. The reason why is there's no fast, quick, and easy way to get into PvP. Death should mean something, but it also should mean that you lose, not that you're punished by riding your horseback. So why are we even covering this? Well, because I think it's going to diminish the population even further. I understand they have to have performance is imperative for people to play, but Cyrodiil is massive. I mean, how big is it, Aggelos? You could ride your horse.
Yeah, I went from one side to the other, from the Ebonheart Pact, if you know where that's at, in the far north eastern section. To get over to the DC side took me a good 20 minutes.
20
and that's
minutes.
No interruptions. That's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not even the long way. That's a fairly short area.
So while reducing the player cap will increase performance, it's also going to cause a lot of negatives and they say it's not going to affect the majority. I disagree with that. During primetime hours, what you have is usually one really active campaign and then maybe one spillover. But really, everyone's waiting to get in that main campaign that all the action is. So if you're lowering the population cap during those times, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to have a really long queue time, as in like 2 hours. Or two, you're going to go to a campaign that maybe isn't in your home and isn't where you want to spend your time. So it's going to basically make it even harder to get in action. You know what I mean? Because it's so big, like Ag said, it's 20 minutes of riding around. Now have 200, 300 less people in there. The in-between battles, the skirmishes, are really going to be few and far between.
Yeah.
So, have you played PvP lately, Ag?
Not since this patch has went out, but I was playing it about 2 weeks ago. And again, for those who know about me, my connection is not the best in the world. It got to the point where latency was so bad I was crashing to desktop almost all the time whenever I got into a big keep siege battle.
Wow.
And now I don't think that's all just my connection, because I get a little bit of lag, but crashing the desktops were a problem that I was having.
Yeah, and I repeatedly have crashes if you watch my stream when I'm streaming. And I like PvP in general. That's what I do mainly all the time, except in this game. I really don't like it, and I'll explain why. Basically, the fights are so few and far between, or if you get in the fight and die, now you have to ride your horseback. So after the forward camp change, I played for a while and didn't like it, but I wanted to go in with a new perspective. And so we went into Cyrodiil with one buddy and essentially experienced the same thing I had been experiencing. Die, ride your horseback, get into a battle here and there. You kill 3 people, they bring 15 of their buddies back and kill you. That's great for a huge, well-coordinated group, but if you want to do solo play like I do, or on your lunch break, or got an hour to kill, it's miserable. It's utterly miserable. And I think this will make it worse, in fact. because there's going to be less people, less skirmishes. It really incentivizes the Zerg. The one thing they wanted not to have happen. Now you almost have to be in a huge, massive group. Otherwise, you'll just get ganked over and over and over, even while traveling to a battle. So, overall, I just do not like PvP so far. And if it wasn't for the excellent PvE in this game, there wouldn't be a whole lot for me to do, to be completely honest. Which brings me to our speculation point. What's next, do you think, Aggelos?
Honestly, if my cat stops sneezing on me, I really think they're bringing forward camps back, which I think will help.
Yeah.
In a certain extent, from what I'm understanding and what I've heard around the rumor mill, is they're bringing forward camps back, but with more restrictions, such as there's a time limit when you die to them, or you have to be within a certain range to even pick them.
Yeah.
To respond, or you have to die within a certain range. You can only use it once every 10 minutes. Things of those nature. So I think that will help specifically with battles and make the PvP the way they designed it. I still don't see Cyrodiil being a huge thing. Even with a lot of the PvPers talking about Imperial City being, oh, it's going to be great for PvP. I really don't think Imperial City is going to be the PvP messiah that they're looking for. I don't, because I think what's going to happen is people are going to go to their buff campaign and do Imperial City that way.
Yeah.
As much as I love the game, I don't see PvP does not have a bright future unless they pull something miraculous, which they could do, but they haven't hinted at it. And the only thing we know PvP wise is Imperial City, and as I said, people are going to go to buff campaigns to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I am blown away by the PvE that I don't even touch PvP because it's just not fun. I'd rather go pick flowers and know that I'm accomplished something than die and ride on my horse. And so what we have on the table, we know Imperial City's coming, but that's after 1.6. So that's a good ways away. We know that. If they bring forward camps back, I think that will be really good for the casual players like myself, because I'm a casual PvPer now, not PvE. I'm hardcore PvE now, but it's going to bring it back. I think that taking it out completely was a mistake. That they could take it out till they get it fixed, I'm okay with it. I'll just set PvP aside. So they bring it back with some restrictions, maybe a cooldown. You have to be a certain alliance rank. You can only place it this far. That's a good compromise. You know what I mean? But until that happens, I'm kind of over it. It's just, what's my incentive to get one skill point? I already have 300. I can buy the gear from other people. What's the incentive for me to do it, right?
Right.
So it's too bad because it's a really cool part of the game. I think Cyrodiil in itself is just too big. I mean, it's just so massive. It's not instance at all. And what could have been cool is they had a couple different instances of it. So like maybe AD faction is instance. So if you take over yours, then you could get into theirs. And I don't know.
Other games have done that. Dark Age of Camelot specifically did that. Like, you went to different zones. There was no big map. You went to the Midgard zone, you saw all the Midgard keeps. You went to the Hibernia zone, then you had all the Hibernia keeps. And there were invasion points where the people started if they didn't own anything, but they didn't have it all in one big map. Now, again, that was 16 years ago technology. I don't know if they tried to limit it down by that, but evidently even in 2014, the technology doesn't seem to be enough to have a certain cap on these things. So,
and it feels to me like I can't really determine if I'm good at PvP or not. And here's why. Today we got in a skirmish. It was 3v3. We won. We beat 3 people, essentially. A couple people died, but we rezzed them. I was the last one standing, whatever. So, okay, well, who got the jump on the person, whatever. They come back with 20 people and wipe us out. I mean, so really it's not basically, there's 4 on this side, there's 8 on this side, there's 8 here. Go toe to toe. It's just who has the bigger group. And that's not fun to me. That doesn't give me the satisfaction of knowing that I'm good or working to get better.
I will say this type of PvP though never encouraged that. Even in the older games, Dark Age of Camelot and things of that nature, you always join the Zerg if you're a Midgard or the Frolic. I don't know why Hibernia called ours the Frolic, but they did. You'd always see people in chat, where's the Frolic at? Or where's the Zerg at? Where, whatever you were on. Because that's where these large scale PvPs came from, is big groups. I really don't think any type of casual PvP or even competitive PvPer will look at this and go, this is where I'm going to spend my time. This is going to be where I'm going to mess around, but not where I'm going to go forward. This type of PvP cannot accommodate that type of play style.
It can't, and maybe I want it to, and just need to realize that that's not going to be it for anywhere in the near future, and I'm okay with that.
Unless they introduce a different type of PvP game type, because even Imperial City, what's that going to bring? It's going to bring gankers. Like you'll be able to, but it's still not a fair way. It's not like you're going to stand out there and go, "Come at me, bro." You're going to hide in the shadows, wait till he's attacking something, and kill him. That's how it goes.
So it's just a smaller Cyrodiil with more ganking.
Yes, exactly. But he who stealths wins.
And I don't like that everyone can stealth. Personally, I think that's terrible. I like it that only Nightblades have that. And, like you've heard me rant before, a stealth potion is more effective than a Nightblade sneak. I mean, that's broken. I don't like that. I think one class should have that advantage. For being really squishy, they should have stealth. That's their countermeasure, right? Yeah. But anyways, I'm still pumped about the game. I just wanted to think we needed to talk about this real quick as the news develops. I think this is an important part. So
it is. It definitely is, because other games have done this as well. Guild Wars 2 had the same issue, not quite the lag issue, but they had something called culling, where no matter what, the game engine could not handle the amount of people, so it stripped them out. You couldn't even see the character. So that those guys faced not something with lag like we're doing. They faced, you couldn't even see the Zerg until it killed you. So they lowered population caps as well. And I mean, it did create queues, but overall, I think it probably helped the overall performance and PvP for the people who are already in there. Because the people who are in here are going to be with a Zerg. Yeah. That's just it's going to happen. So if you happen to get in, you're with the Zerg, happy day. If you're waiting in a queue, you're sad. If you're going in alone, you're stupid.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Don't go in alone. You'll find out like I did. It's just not fun. But
yeah,
we want to discuss these things as they come up, and I think PvP is a hot topic. So I hope it gets some love in the future. I know 1.6 is going to shake up a lot of things, so stay tuned. We'll be covering that. And we appreciate you watching. Come on Tales of Tamriel, talesoftamriel.com or delciusgaming.com. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube.